every Sunday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. here on KLEK for the Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, playing the very best in quartet and inspirational gospel music that you'll love, as well as feature interviews with all of your favorite gospel artists. It's Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, Sundays from 5 to 7 a.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Good morning. Welcome back to part 2 of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. On the phone for part 2, I have the Attorney General, Leslie Rutledge. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be on with you all.
Well, thank you so very much. I think I've bugged Mr. Josh and other people, and I really appreciate them getting back with me to get you booked to share your platform with the residents of the state of Arkansas, so that when they go to the polls, they can make an informed decision. I do have to give this disclaimer that KLEK does not support or endorse any particular candidate. No compensation was given for this interview, and this information is provided for informational purposes only. So with that out of the way, I would like for you please to give a brief introduction of yourself, Attorney General.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm Leslie Rutledge. I'm the 56th Attorney General of Arkansas, but I'm a seventh-generation Arkansan. I grew up on a cattle farm there in northeast Arkansas, outside of Batesville, and I'm married to a row crop farmer in Crittenden County. He farms soybeans and corn. We have a daughter. We're very blessed. My husband Boyce and I found each other later in life, and we got married in 2015, and God blessed us with a beautiful little girl this summer. July 27th, our daughter was born, and we really, from that point on, and I know we've got a lot of parents out there, but you really don't understand and appreciate being a parent until you have your own child. And when I looked into that child's eyes for the first time, I knew exactly how much God loved us, because I love that little girl so much, and I felt that love for my child just as he loves us. And so we're very blessed as a family. Since being the Attorney General the last 3.5 years, I have traveled all over Arkansas, going to all 75 counties each year, meeting with Arkansans in what we call Rutledge roundtables, hearing directly from them. I'm a big believer in face-to-face conversations. I think that's sort of my, small town upbringing, but as I like to say, Arkansas is just one big small town. We really look after each other, and we take care of each other. And, through those conversations, I've been able to hear directly from Arkansans about issues, whether it's the lowering the crime rate, going after those who fraud the system through Medicaid fraud, which we've done an incredible job of increasing the number of convictions since I've been the AG. Since I've been the Attorney General, we've had more convictions in 3.5 years than they had in the 16 years prior to that. So we've really ramped up going after the bad guys. Also going after those that look to harm and prey on young children on the internet. We go after fraudsters, bad businesses. I've sued the opioid manufacturers. And so we've done all these things over the last 3.5 years, and I'm just asking Arkansans to give me the opportunity to keep serving them. It's been the honor of a lifetime to do so.
All right, well, thank you for that. I wanted to go through some of these talking points listed about the things you have accomplished as being in office. But we do have a Facebook question from Mr. Lee Jarrett Evans. He asks about, this is turning down 70 ballot initiatives. I'm not for sure which initiatives he's referring to.
Okay, so
the question is why she's turned down 70 ballot initiatives. I apologize, I don't know which initiatives he's referring to.
Sure, that's fine, and that's one of the jobs, and I appreciate the question. That's one of the jobs of the Attorney General is to review ballot initiatives and to make sure that the language will be clear when you go to the voter box. And so right now, people people are voting on initiatives, and as we've seen, the Supreme Court has struck down a number of those. That's exactly what happened in 2016, is that I had approved some ballot initiatives. The Supreme Court, just weeks ahead of the election, struck those down. It confuses voters. It's a waste of resources. My job is to simply look at it to determine whether or not it's clear to our candidates. So, again, voters are going to be going to the polls. They are right now. They're early voting, and they're going to the polls on Tuesday. There will be things on the ballot that the Supreme Court has removed. And so even a vote for or against will not matter. There's just a handful of things that are still on the ballot that the Supreme Court left on. I have asked that the Supreme Court have that we need a clear and fair process to get things on the ballot. So I appreciate the question. And I encourage anyone all of those ballot titles that I have reviewed and signed off on are all available in the opinions section on the AG website. That's arkansasag.gov. They can go and read them themselves. Some of them, the vast majority of the ones that I deny were not coherent at all. And so, if you're going to change the Arkansas Constitution, that's a big deal. And I want people to understand that it should be a big deal to change the language of our state constitution. This isn't something that you should do haphazard and just throw any sort of language out there. That would be confusing to people. People need to understand exactly what they're voting on and exactly how they're going to change the words of our own state constitution. So please, I encourage you, if you have questions, you can call me, you can ask me, but go read all those for yourselves, and you'll see that the vast majority of them were not coherent at all, and certainly had no business being in front of voters because they just did not make sense.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I want to go into another topic that is, I hate to say plaguing Arkansas, but sadly it is, the opioid epidemic, and how there have been talks and articles about how pharmaceutical companies are, I hate to say, preying on individuals that have addictive tendencies. What are some ways, if you are reelected, what are some ways that you would work to crack down even more on pharmaceutical companies or even the doctors from prescribing the drugs to individuals and creating more of a problem?
Absolutely. We have a prescription drug and opioid epidemic in the state of Arkansas and across America. This epidemic, this problem, this crisis, it does not care if you are black, white, Hispanic. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It doesn't care what neighborhood you grew up in or what your parents do for a living. It is hitting every single family in our state. And I have done a number of things as the Attorney General already to address this crisis and to crack down on the manufacturers. On behalf of Arkansans, I have sued 3 opioid manufacturers who are responsible for creating this epidemic. I've also worked with law enforcement to go after those individuals and uphold convictions of folks who have sold these drugs illegally on the street. But we also have done treatment and education programs. It takes all of this. It takes litigation, suing the opioid manufacturers. It takes education. I have an educational program that we launched last year about this time, targeted toward our high school students, grades 9 through 12. To date, we've already had 10,000 plus students go through this program called Prescription for Life. It's a digital program. We created it. It's the first in the nation because we want our young people to know that they should have a prescription for life and not fall, prey to the idea that these prescription drugs are not harmful, because they are absolutely harmful and they're deadly. They are lethal when used in gross amounts, when used too much, and are very addictive. And so in addition to our high school program, Prescription for Life, we also had a big prescription drug take back this past Saturday, and we've got tomorrow I'm hosting a prescription drug summit in Hot Springs where we'll have 1,000 people, law enforcement, high school counselors. So I have already been doing so much to address this opioid epidemic. Last week I was with the President of the United States, President Trump, invited me to the White House while he signed legislation We are going to fight this epidemic in Arkansas, and we're going to win, and we're going to save lives.
All right, thank you for that. I want to ask this question because I've heard and seen this point brought up across social media. When it comes to I'm just going to say drug addiction of any kind. We know that many individuals are criminalized when it comes to marijuana, cocaine, and other street drugs. If someone is seen or known to have an addiction, or it's now become an illness, would they be able to receive same or similar treatment as those that are addicted to opioids? Would they be less criminalized and directed more towards rehab or some type of facility that will help them steer clear, get clean, and hopefully get their life back on track?
Well, and that's one thing that I have heard from families across Arkansas is that we need more treatment facilities, more opportunities for folks to get their lives back on track, that they are suffering from addiction. We do not, there's a false narrative of people who say that our jails and prisons are filled with people who have been convicted of marijuana charges. That is not true. So we need to take that off the table. Our jails and prisons, sadly, are filled with people who have committed some sort of violent crimes, or maybe they were under the influence of an illegal substance, or breaking into someone's home or stealing someone's car in order to have the funds to go buy more, whether it's cocaine, methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is still a tremendous problem in our state. So they do need access to treatment, and they're incredible programs. One of my favorite programs that I believe is one of the most effective in the state, and that's the John 316 and John 317 out of court, out of Independence County. But I know that they've got people from all over Northeast Arkansas, really all over the state, because people who are handling addiction need to get out of those circumstances. They need to get away from their friends who have lived in that culture of drug addiction, and they need to remember, most importantly, that God has a better plan for them.
Okay.
Too many people have forgotten that God has a better plan for them, and that they've got to find that, and they've got to remember that, and their families are suffering too. So yes, I firmly believe in more treatments, more drug courts, intervention courts, to allow people to get their lives clean, to have that stability, to be able to take care of their family, to be able to take care of themselves, and to get them back to the person that God wanted them to be.
All right, well, thank you. I don't want to run out of time, and I want to get through a few more of the talking points. I'm looking at this one about you. It says you have overseen a substantial increase in the arrest of internet predators who commit cyber crimes against children since taking office. It seems like every day there's a report of a young child gone missing. We've seen other reports on these trafficking rings and whatnot. If you are reelected, what are some other things that you hope to do to just keep those numbers going up, bringing those predators to justice, and trying to keep our children safe within the state of Arkansas?
Well, I think it's important that, we have some of the top cyber crime investigators, people who investigate these crimes, unlock cell phones, that unlock computers where these criminals had taken images, shared videos of children that are, just incredible, terrible photographs, videos that none of us can imagine. Okay. And so we have some of the top investigators at the Attorney General's office. But unfortunately, this crime is so prevalent. We must have more people trained at our local law enforcement agencies across the state to stop this crime. We've got to also train parents to get online, to know who their kids are talking to get those cell phones out of their hands, and to see who they're talking to, make sure that their child is being safe and smart online. But we've got to train more law enforcement officials, more prosecutors across the state to combat this crime, and to let people know that sharing pornography that involves a child is not a victimless crime. That child is victimized every single time that image is shared, and that child pain is felt every single time, and we must send those people to prison for the rest of their lives, or for a very long time at bare minimum, so they will never have the opportunity to lay hands on a child and to hurt them.
All right. Now, along with this issue and with the drug issue, the Prescription for Life program, is there a parent education aspect or curriculum to either one of these programs or initiatives?
We do encourage parents, adults to review, take our Prescription for Life. We have lots of programs and educators that travel across the state. From the Attorney General's office, I have people travel across the state teaching adults about the dangers of prescription drugs, to make sure they also understand that they too can become addicted. But unfortunately, that parents, grandparents can be an unknowing source of prescription drugs for their teenagers, for their loved ones. So please visit arkansasag.gov. Visit the website, the official office website at arkansasag.gov. We will send in a request for information or find some of our programs online. And I'm the only Leslie at the office, so feel free to call and ask for me. But if you will call the office or come online at arkansasag.gov, we will get you the information that you need and those sort of programs to educate more people about the dangers of prescription drugs. Okay.
We have another Facebook comment from Mr. Evans. He asked about, let me scroll, you accepting money from pharmaceutical companies, research and manufacture. Well, he's giving a list of different companies, but he gives a total. It says asks why she accepted over $300,000 from pharmaceutical companies. He doesn't give a reference to exactly what he means by that question, but
sure. Well, I'll be happy to answer that. And I think it's Mr. Evans, you said, with that question, and I appreciate the question. And to Mr. Evans and any of your listeners, I will just tell you flat out that is an outright lie. And this is the sad part of politics. Why people don't want to be engaged is because, unfortunately, my opponent and his supporters are putting lies out on the internet and stating that I've raised over $1 million or $300,000 from pharmaceutical companies when I haven't. My campaign has not raised $1 million total. So this is an outright lie, and I am chair of an organization that has raised money from companies and individuals from all across America. It's called the Republican Attorneys General Association. My opponent has received, and the Democratic Party of Arkansas has received, tens of thousands of dollars to support his dishonest campaign from the Democratic Attorneys General Association, who has also received money from those same companies. And so this is just sadly why people don't want to be involved in politics, is because people like my opponent, who are just dishonest and misconstrue the facts. I'm a straight shooter, and I don't mind to tell people the truth, and I don't mind to talk to you face to face. And so this is just, unfortunately, people playing silly season here in the last week of the campaign. But I know Arkansans are a lot smarter than my opponent and his friends give them credit for being. So I appreciate the question, but no, I have not raised and taken $300,000 from pharmaceutical companies, and matter of fact, I'm suing 3 pharmaceutical manufacturers, opioid manufacturers, on behalf of Arkansans.
Okay. And I want to give everyone the website before we run down on our time. If you want to see more information about Attorney General Rutledge's work, go to www.leslierutledge.com/issues. There you can find a list of things that she has done. And if you have questions, again, she said you can please call her, email her, maybe stop by the office and leave a message. She'll be happy to address your concerns. In the last minute, I would like for you to give a final plea as to why individuals should vote for you.
Absolutely. Hey, Lynn, thank you so much for having me on. It has been, as I said at the beginning, the honor of a lifetime to be the Attorney General of Arkansas. And when I ran for the position 3.5, 4 years ago, I told Arkansans that I'm a Christian, pro-life, gun-carrying, conservative woman. And since then, I've now become a Christian, pro-life, gun-carrying, conservative mama. And it's with those values that I represent Arkansans. I'm not going to be able to tell you in a 30-second TV ad or a radio ad how I'm going to make a decision, but I can tell you my values, and from which I'll make those decisions. I said I was going to go after criminals, con artists, and overreaching government regulations. That is exactly what I've done. As I've said in this program, that we have cracked down on and increased the number of convictions for those who fraud the system, and Medicaid fraud more so than the 16 years prior combined. We have increased we've launched a Social Security disability fraud.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5
We've cracked down on internet predators. We've sued the opioid manufacturers. Everything I said I was going to do, I've done, and we want to keep doing it because I want Arkansas to be safe. I want to protect our families. I want to protect our faith and our freedoms here in the natural state. So I appreciate your vote. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on today.
All right, thank you. And thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Arkansas and the United States of America.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.